Trigger her obsession for you. Warning, use wisely. Stoicism. There exists a subtle and intricate art, a skill set far removed from manipulative tactics or fleeting trends, that allows us to transform casual interest into genuine connection and lasting captivation. This isn't about superficial charm or deceptive techniques. It's about understanding the depths of human psychology, mastering the nuances of emotional engagement, and fostering a bond so profound that you remain in her thoughts long after you parted ways. The essence of true captivation lies not in fleeting attraction, but in a carefully orchestrated blend of anticipation, emotional triggers, and the consistent desire to leave her wanting more, always respecting her autonomy and free will. This approach, however, demands a delicate touch and a deep understanding of ethical boundaries. It requires a commitment to authenticity, empathy, and a genuine desire to connect on a deeper level, rather than simply seeking to control or manipulate another person's emotions. It's about creating a dynamic where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, where the connection is based on mutual respect and genuine admiration. The art of captivation is not a game to be played, but a dance to be shared, a journey of mutual discovery and growth. Obsession, in its truest and most healthy sense, isn't built on surface-level attraction or fleeting infatuation. It's nurtured through a nuanced understanding of emotional triggers and the skillful creation of anticipation. It's about consistently leaving her wanting more, not through manipulative tactics, but by genuinely engaging her mind, stimulating her curiosity, and making her feel valued and appreciated. This approach isn't for those seeking quick fixes or superficial connections. It requires patience, empathy, and a genuine desire to understand the complexities of human emotions. The techniques outlined here are powerful, but they demand careful and ethical handling. If you're ready to learn how to captivate her heart and mind in a way that honors her autonomy and fosters genuine connection, then keep watching. But be warned, once you embark on this journey, there's no turning back to superficiality or manipulation. The path to genuine captivation is a path of self-discovery, empathy, and a commitment to building relationships based on respect and authenticity. The power to create a lasting connection lies within you. It's up to you to use it wisely and ethically. Harness the power of mystery, unveiling the allure of the unknown. Curiosity, that innate human drive to explore the unknown, is one of the most potent emotional triggers in the human brain. When someone can't fully figure you out, when there's an air of mystery surrounding you, their mind keeps returning to you, drawn to the enigma like an unsolved puzzle. It's not about being deliberately secretive or withholding information out of spite. It's about mastering the art of being open and engaging while still leaving certain aspects of your life, your past, or your thoughts unspoken, allowing her imagination to fill in the gaps and fueling her curiosity. The less she knows, the more her mind will spiral with thoughts about what you might be hiding, what passions you might be pursuing, and what experiences have shaped you into the person you are today. This isn't about creating a false persona or being dishonest. It's about selectively revealing aspects of yourself, creating a sense of intrigue, and prompting her to want to learn more. Perhaps you have a passion that you hint at, but never fully disclose. She knows you disappear every weekend for it, but she can't quite pin down what it is. This leaves her hungry for more, eager to uncover the secrets of your life, and makes you a source of constant fascination. The human mind is hardwired to seek answers and closure. By leaving gaps in the information you provide, you're creating a psychological itch she can't help but scratch, a desire to understand the hidden depths of your personality. This is where the power of suggestion comes into play. You don't need to explicitly state what you're doing. Simply allude to it, hint at the intensity of the experience, and let her imagination run wild. The more she speculates, the more invested she becomes in uncovering the truth. For example, imagine you have a secret hobby that you only vaguely mention. You might say, "I have this thing I do on weekends. It's pretty intense. It's something I'm really passionate about." You never provide more details, leaving her to wonder and speculate. She will be intrigued and start imagining what it could be. Is it something adventurous? Is it a hidden talent? Is it a secret mission? The possibilities are endless, and the more she thinks about it, the more she thinks about you. She will want to be part of your mysterious world, to share in your experiences, and this curiosity will keep her hooked, wanting to understand what makes you tick. However, it's important to strike a balance between mystery and accessibility. You don't want to be so elusive that she feels like she can't connect with you on a genuine level. The key is to be open and engaging in your interactions, sharing your thoughts and feelings while still maintaining a sense of intrigue. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate her, but to stimulate her curiosity and make her want to learn more about the real you. Use emotional roller coasters to create addiction, the delicate dance of highs and lows. The human brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and people often become addicted to emotional highs and lows, especially in romantic relationships. It's why some women stay hooked on guys who don't treat them well, trapped in a cycle of hope and disappointment. However, I'm not suggesting you be toxic or create a manipulative dynamic. Instead, focus on creating moments of emotional intensity, both positive and negative, in a way that fosters connection and growth. The key is balance. You don't want her to associate you only with stress or frustration, as this will ultimately drive her away. But those moments of emotional conflict, followed by sweetness or vulnerability, can make the emotional payoff that much more rewarding, creating a dynamic that is both stimulating and fulfilling. Think of it as a carefully orchestrated dance, where you lead her through a range of emotions, always ensuring that the experience is ultimately positive and enriching. Engage in playful debates that get her riled up, only to pivot to something more vulnerable, like sharing a personal story. The contrast creates emotional waves that keep her engaged, wanting to know what's coming next. This isn't about deliberately provoking her or causing her distress. It's about creating a dynamic where you can both challenge each other, explore different perspectives, and ultimately connect on a deeper level. Studies show that the brain responds to emotional roller coasters similarly to addictive substances, creating dopamine spikes that make her more likely to become fixated on the source of that emotional thrill. This isn't about creating a dependency, but about stimulating her brain and making her feel alive and engaged in the relationship. Consider a scenario where you have a playful argument about something trivial, like which movie is better. The debate gets heated, both of you passionately defending your positions. But just when she thinks you're genuinely upset, you switch gears and share a touching story from your childhood, revealing a vulnerability that she hadn't seen before. This sudden shift from conflict to vulnerability creates a roller coaster of emotions that keeps her engaged and connected to you, making her feel like she's seeing a deeper, more authentic side of you. However, it's important to be mindful of her emotional boundaries and to avoid pushing her too far. The goal is to create a stimulating and engaging dynamic, not to cause her distress or make her feel uncomfortable. Remember, the key is balance and respect. Trigger her FOMO, fear of missing out, the allure of scarcity and the value of your time. Scarcity is a fundamental driver of human behavior, and the fear of missing out, FOMO, is a powerful motivator. If she feels that other women have access to something she doesn't, if she perceives you as a valuable and sought-after individual, it creates a sense of urgency and competition, making her want to secure her place in your life. You want to subtly show her that your attention and time are highly valuable and that she's not the only one vying for it, without being arrogant or boastful. This isn't about playing games or trying to make her jealous. It's about demonstrating your self-worth and making her realize that your time and attention are precious commodities. Casually mention that you've been getting a lot of attention lately, without boasting. Let her see that you're desirable and that you have options, without explicitly stating it. This subtly stirs her competitive spirit and makes her want to fight for your attention, to prove that she is worthy of your time and affection. Fear of missing out is a proven psychological phenomenon. When people feel like they might lose out on something valuable, they often act irrationally to secure it. In this case, that something valuable is you. This isn't about manipulating her into feeling insecure but about making her realize that she needs to actively pursue your attention and affection. For instance, during conversation, you might say, "I've been getting a lot of messages from people wanting to hang out lately, but I've been pretty selective about my time. I'm really focused on my goals right now." This statement shows her that others find you appealing and that she needs to step up her game to win your attention, to demonstrate that she is worthy of your limited time and energy. The idea that she might miss out on being with someone as desirable as you will make her more eager to secure her place in your life, to prove that she is the one who deserves your attention. However, it's important to balance this with genuine warmth and affection. You don't want to make her feel like she's constantly competing for your attention or that you're not truly invested in the relationship. The key is to demonstrate your value while also showing her that you care about her and that you appreciate her efforts to connect with you. Remember, the goal is to create a healthy and balanced dynamic, not to manipulate her into feeling insecure. Control the narrative, shaping her perception of you. One of the most often overlooked tools in fostering attraction is controlling the narrative of how someone perceives you. You can subtly steer the direction of her thoughts about you by guiding conversations, planting ideas, and shaping her expectations. This isn't about outright manipulation or creating a false persona, but about influencing her mental image of who you are and what you represent in her life, highlighting your strengths and values in a way that resonates with her. It's about presenting yourself in the best possible light, while still remaining authentic and true to yourself. When talking about your goals, ambitions, or passions, highlight how you're different from other guys. Let her see that you're not just a typical player or a man chasing superficial things. Show her that you're deeper than that you have substance and depth, and this distinction will make her see you as rare, elevating you in her mind. Psychologically, we tend to idolize people who represent something unique or rare in our lives. By presenting yourself as someone who stands out from the crowd, who has something special to offer, she will start to see you as irreplaceable, fueling her captivation. This isn't about boasting or bragging, but about showcasing your unique qualities in a subtle and understated way. For instance, when discussing your future, you might emphasize your commitment to personal growth and your desire to make a positive impact on the world. Say things like, "I'm passionate about my career, but I'm also deeply committed to volunteering and helping others. I want to make a difference in the world." This not only sets you apart from others, but also aligns you with values that she may find admirable and attractive. She will begin to see you as a rare find, someone worth investing her time and emotions in, someone who shares her values and is committed to making the world a better place. However, it's important to be genuine in your presentation. Don't try to be someone you're not, or to fake qualities that you don't possess. The key is to highlight your authentic strengths and values in a way that resonates with her. Remember, the goal is to create a genuine connection, not to manipulate her into falling for a false persona. Be unpredictably consistent, the art of balancing reliability and surprise. This might sound like a contradiction, but it's a powerful strategy. Being consistent in the important ways, your values, your character, and your treatment of her, while throwing in occasional surprises keeps her emotionally engaged. It's about being reliable but not boring, predictable but not monotonous. She needs to feel safe with you, to know that you're trustworthy and dependable, but also excited about what might come next, eager to see what surprises you have in store. Maybe you always text her goodnight, but one day, instead of a simple message, you send her an unexpected but heartfelt voice note, expressing your appreciation for her and sharing a funny story from your day. These small shifts in the pattern keep her on her toes, making her feel like she's constantly discovering new and exciting things about you. Generally, the brain loves novelty but also craves consistency. Striking the balance between the two is what keeps someone interested for the long haul, preventing the relationship from becoming stale or predictable. You're giving her a reason to feel secure, knowing that you're a reliable and dependable partner, but also a reason to stay curious, eager to see what adventures await. Consider a scenario where you usually plan low-key dates like movie nights or casual dinners. Then, out of the blue, you plan an adventurous day trip or surprise her with tickets to a concert she's been dying to see. These unexpected gestures show that while you are reliable and consistent, you are also capable of bringing excitement and novelty into her life, keeping the relationship dynamic and preventing it from becoming monotonous. This balance is what creates a lasting connection, fostering a sense of security and excitement that keeps her captivated. However, it's important to be mindful of her preferences and to avoid surprises that might make her uncomfortable or anxious. The goal is to create a positive and stimulating dynamic, not to cause her stress or make her feel insecure. Remember, the key is to balance reliability with surprise, creating a relationship that is both comforting and exciting. Feed her subconscious desires, becoming the man who gets her. People rarely verbalize their deepest desires, especially in the early stages of attraction. But if you can identify and subtly cater to her hidden wants and needs, you become the man who just gets her, who understands her on a deeper level than anyone else. This goes beyond surface-level attraction and taps into her most intimate emotions, creating a connection that is both profound and irresistible. It's about paying attention to her values, her aspirations, and her unspoken longings, and then finding ways to align yourself with those desires. If she values creativity, casually share your artistic side, discussing your passion for painting, writing, or music. If she's driven by ambition, let her see your dedication to success, highlighting your work ethic and your commitment to achieving your goals. The trick is to become a reflection of what she wants, but doesn't openly ask for, to embody the qualities that she secretly admires. Cognitive science reveals that people are more likely to become captivated with those who fulfill unmet psychological needs. When you reflect her subconscious desires, you stand out as someone who meets those needs, making her more drawn to you. This isn't about manipulating her into believing that you're someone you're not, but about aligning yourself with her values and aspirations in a genuine and authentic way. For instance, if she's passionate about environmental causes, you might mention your involvement in local cleanup efforts or your interest in sustainable living, showing her that you share her commitment to protecting the planet. If she's an aspiring writer, you could share your favorite books and discuss how they've influenced your thinking, demonstrating your appreciation for literature and your intellectual curiosity. By aligning yourself with her deeper values and interests, you position yourself as someone who understands and supports her true self, making her feel a stronger connection to you. However, it's important to be genuine in your approach. Don't try to fake interests or pretend to be someone you're not. The key is to identify her authentic desires and then find ways to align yourself with those desires in a way that is consistent with your own values and beliefs. Remember, the goal is to create a genuine connection, not to manipulate her into falling for a false persona. Plant seeds of doubt and reassure, the push-pull of uncertainty and validation. While this might sound risky, the power of subtle doubt paired with reassurance creates a push-pull dynamic that can be incredibly compelling. This isn't about making her insecure or deliberately undermining her self-esteem, but rather leaving room for her to wonder where she stands with you, only to pull her back in with affirmations, creating a sense of anticipation and excitement. It's a delicate balance, and it requires a deep understanding of her emotional boundaries and a commitment to avoiding any behavior that could be construed as manipulative or abusive. If she starts to feel too comfortable, scale back your communication just slightly, enough to make her wonder, to prompt her to question whether you're still as interested as you were before. But before she begins to overthink or become truly anxious, reaffirm her with a compliment or a thoughtful gesture, showing her that you still care and that you value her presence in your life. This keeps her emotionally invested, wanting to know where she stands with you and eager to maintain your affection. The Zygarnik effect shows that people tend to remember unfinished tasks or unresolved emotions more than completed ones. By leaving things slightly open-ended, you create mental stickiness that keeps her thinking about you, prompting her to speculate about your feelings and intentions. This isn't about playing games or trying to make her insecure, but about creating a sense of intrigue and excitement, making her want to unravel the mystery of your emotions. For example, If you've been texting back and forth consistently, you might take a bit longer to reply one day, just enough to make her notice, to wonder if something is wrong. When she starts to wonder if something is wrong, you send a sweet message that reassures her of your interest, perhaps complimenting her on something she said or did, or simply expressing your appreciation for her presence in your life. This push-pull technique creates a dynamic where she's never entirely sure where she stands, which keeps her thinking about you and seeking your validation, making her feel like she needs to actively pursue your attention and affection. However, it's important to be mindful of her emotional boundaries and to avoid using this technique in a way that is manipulative or abusive. The goal is to create a sense of intrigue and excitement, not to cause her distress or make her feel insecure. Remember, the key is balance and respect. Master the art of absence, the power of longing and the value of your presence. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder, it can make it captivated. The key is to vanish at just the right time, when the emotional peak is high, leaving her craving your presence, wanting to relive the connection you shared. When you return, the emotional impact is doubled because she has spent the time apart thinking about you, replaying your interactions in her mind, and longing for your return. This isn't about playing games or trying to make her jealous, but about creating a sense of longing and appreciation, making her realize how much she values your presence in her life. After a particularly great date or conversation, go radio silent for a day or two, not in a way that suggests you're disinterested, but just enough to let her feel the void of your absence, to realize how much she enjoys your company. Research in relationship psychology shows that anticipation heightens emotions. When someone is looking forward to seeing or hearing from you, the anticipation itself becomes a powerful emotional anchor that strengthens their connection to you. This isn't about deliberately ignoring her or trying to make her feel bad, but about creating a space for her to appreciate your presence and to long for your return. Imagine you've had an amazing evening together, filled with laughter and deep conversation. Instead of texting her goodnight or following up the next day, you let a couple of days pass. During this time, she will replay the evening in her mind, thinking about how much she enjoyed it and wondering when she'll hear from you again. When you finally do reach out, the emotional impact is much greater because she's been eagerly anticipating your return, making her feel even more connected to you. However, it's important to avoid being absent for too long, as this could be interpreted as disinterest or rejection. The goal is to create a sense of longing, not to push her away. Remember, the key is to strike a balance between absence and presence, making her feel valued and appreciated while also creating a space for her to long for your return. Build an aura of exclusivity, the value of limited access. People want what they can't easily have. If she feels that access to your time, energy, or inner world is limited, she will value it more, appreciating the moments you share together and cherishing the connection you have built. This isn't about being deliberately difficult or playing hard to get, but about demonstrating your self-worth and making her realize that your time and attention are precious commodities. The trick is to be selectively available, engaging with her deeply when you're together, making her feel like she's the only person in the world, but always keeping a part of yourself just out of reach, maintaining your own interests and commitments. When spending time with her, be fully present and make her feel like she's the only person that matters, giving her your undivided attention and showing genuine interest in her thoughts and feelings. But once that time is over, retreat back into your world, pursuing your own goals and interests and demonstrating that you have a life outside of the relationship. Let her know that she's special, but not so special that you're dropping everything for her, showing her that you value your own time and commitments. The scarcity principle in psychology demonstrates that people value things more when they perceive them as scarce or hard to come by. By positioning yourself as someone who isn't easily available, you increase your value in her eyes, making her want to earn your attention and affection. For instance, if you're usually available to hang out at a moment's notice, start being a bit more selective, telling her you have a busy week ahead with important projects or personal commitments. When you do make time for her, make it meaningful and special, showing her that you truly value her presence in your life. This selective availability makes your presence feel more valuable and sought after, increasing her desire to be with you, to prove that she is worthy of your time and attention. However, it's important to avoid making her feel neglected or unimportant. The goal is to create a sense of value, not to push her away. Remember, the key is to balance exclusivity with genuine warmth and affection, making her feel valued and appreciated while also demonstrating your self-worth. Embed yourself in her daily routine. The power of constant reminders. True captivation happens when you've woven yourself into someone's daily thoughts, actions, and routines. This is done by becoming a part of her everyday life in small but significant ways, creating subtle triggers that remind her of you throughout her day, even when you're not around. This isn't about being intrusive or overbearing, but about finding ways to connect with her on a regular basis, making your presence felt in her daily life. Maybe you share a particular song, a phrase, or a habit that she associates with you. Every time she hears that song, sees that phrase, or performs that habit, her mind instantly drifts back to you, creating a connection that is both comforting and captivating. According to behavioral conditioning, repeated associations create strong mental links. By embedding yourself into her daily routine, you effectively condition her to think of you regularly, which strengthens her emotional attachment and leads to captivation. Consider sharing a favorite song that you both enjoy. Whenever she hears it on the radio or on her playlist, she will think of you, replaying your shared moments in her mind. Or develop a unique phrase or inside joke that only the two of you share. These small, repeated associations create a mental link that keeps you in her thoughts throughout her daily life, making you feel like a constant presence in her world. Over time, these triggers will strengthen her emotional connection to you, making her feel more attached and captivated. However, it's important to be mindful of her boundaries and to avoid creating triggers that could be annoying or intrusive. The goal is to create a positive and comforting association, not to make her feel like she's being stalked or controlled. Remember, the key is to be subtle and respectful, embedding yourself in her daily routine in a way that is both meaningful and unobtrusive. Conclusion: a journey of connection and understanding. These techniques, while powerful, should be used responsibly. The goal isn't to manipulate or hurt anyone, but to understand the deeper layers of attraction and connection, and to use that understanding to build a strong and lasting relationship. When used correctly, these strategies can help you build a bond so strong that you'll be thinking about you constantly. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So use these techniques wisely and always treat her with the respect she deserves, honoring her autonomy and respecting her boundaries. The art of captivation is not about control, but about connection, about creating a relationship based on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine affection.